Okay, so today I want to talk about what you should know before you start investing out of state. So if some of you guys are new to my channel, you guys probably know that this year, which is 2021, I'm taking it upon myself to go to different states and invest in tax deeds. Now, I've been helping students around the United States invest in tax deeds, and I've been learning so much about my other students' areas that I decided that I was going to venture out into some other areas because, quite frankly, I've kind of gotten comfortable in the counties that I really love have not really been having the auctions or having the inventory that I want. So I'm actually venturing out to other states, which has been really great because it just perfects my process. I pretty much use my process in every state, which is amazing. But there are a few things that I have been learning and I wanted to share with you guys in regards to some of the things you should know when you're investing out of state. So one of them is you definitely, I don't know how much I can stress this enough, is doing your due diligence. And what I mean by that is knowing how that county operates. There's so many things that go into investing in tax deeds, and unfortunately, all the counties don't follow the same rules. All of them have their own different rules of how they do things. And for example, like some of you guys already know, I invest in Texas, and the terminology and all the things that they require in Texas is oftentimes different in other states. So most importantly, it's so important to call the county and get as much information, as many details as you know about the tax deeds. I do have a list of those questions in one of my tax deed courses, or you could just do trial and error and just ask questions, but you don't know what you don't know, right? But the most important thing is finding out what's the process, how to buy properties. Are there other properties that you can purchase that aren't at the auction? There's terminologies for that. But most importantly, you also want to know to find a trusted team. And what I say a trusted team is because I did buy a property out of state and it was abandoned, it was vacant, and I brought it at such a good price, I wanted to flip it. So if you're deciding to wanting to flip in other states, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to lie, this is not HDTV. It is a lot of work because you have to find a trusted team, and oftentimes it's hard to find people to trust in order to do out-of-state projects. I had a property that was abandoned for 6 months because I kept getting all these, different bids and all these different people that said they were going to do what they were going to do, say what they were going to do, but they never came through. So that's the only downside about investing, or if you're trying to fix and flip in out of state, it's really hard. Now, if you're going to wholesale out of state, that's great because you're not really worrying about fixing and flipping. I would just suggest finding local meetups or different investment groups and shopping it there or on Facebook for properties that are abandoned and vacant. But this one has such a huge spread. I was just trying to be greedy, right? I was just like, I'm going to fix and flip this up. But needless to say, one of the things is you do have to have a trusted team if you're going to fix and flip out of state. The third thing is you want to know what your exit strategy is. So I just talked about two of them. One is fix and flipping. The other is wholesaling. There's so many other strategies out there. You can do buy and hold, where you're just, putting a renter in there. There's so many different ways depending upon the asset. But the most importantly, I always tell my students, I could teach you how to do tax deeds, but you got to know what your exit strategy is going to be. And everybody's exit strategy is going to be different based on their lifestyle. Like some people want to retire and they think they want to have renters. I personally don't want any renters. I don't want to be a landlord for the rest of my life, but some people want to build that portfolio to have cash flow over time. So that's important to know. The other thing is you want to work your numbers before you buy. And in order to do that, I would suggest contacting your local real estate agent and looking at the different websites like Trulia, Redfin. There's so many sites that you can utilize, and there's a lot of softwares. One of the ones that I use is Tax Sale Resources, and they pretty much will let you know what is the value, the average value of the home. That way you know that you're not overbidding on a property. The next thing is finding out if that property clears titles. This is so important, you guys, because So a lot of people will buy tax deeds, but they don't know that the title is clear. Now, let me break that down, because a lot of times people be like, but you said that you get the property free and clear. What I mean by a property being free and clear, that means that there's no mortgages on it. So you don't have to worry about, taking over a mortgage or anything like that. But there are other liens on the property, like utilities liens. There's abandon and abatement liens. There's IRS liens. There's so many different type of liens that could be placed on a property, and those liens do not oftentimes supersede a tax sale. Now, I'm going to tell you, I've invested in 4 counties in Texas, and I've attempted to in California, about 3 counties, and all of them has told me that if I was to purchase a tax deed, that all the liens would be clear. I take that back. Sacramento County will not clear abatement liens, but it just really depends on the county. But that's something else you want to know if you're going to be investing out of state, is to see how that county what they do with the deeds and how they clear them. A lot of times they will tell you that they do not secure the deed, which means they don't give you a warranty deed, which is totally okay, especially if you're going to be doing wholesaling. That's something that you can transfer over to the next owner. But most of the time you do get like a clear deed, and I've been lucky enough to buy properties where the liens are clear. Now, it does get convoluted if you have HOA liens and all that stuff, but where I personally, when I'm doing my due diligence, there's just certain things I don't touch, but there are people, like I met a lady and that's all she does is HO liens. She's perfected that. I personally have not perfected that. I don't like to deal with them, so I don't touch them. But that's why this is such a great business, because what I don't like to do, somebody else would like to do, right? The last but not least is, what else did I want to say? Last but not least, I want to let you know that when you're building a team, the most important thing is having a real estate agent that is investor savvy. There's a lot of agents out there that just know how